The neighborhood in general happened to be where my great-grandfather had this business, probably because he lived down here, was the original melting pot, basically, of the United States, and all immigrants of all shapes and sizes came and moved to the Lower East Side. So big Jewish population, and German population, Italian population, many others. And since then, all kinds of other new immigrants would come and live in the Lower East Side. So to be a part of this community is very special. A lot of people that now live all over the country, all over the world, can trace their roots back to the Lower East Side. I am Josh Russ Tupper, fourth generation co-owner of Russ and Daughters and affiliated businesses. So I'm going to be making an egg cream. An egg cream has neither egg nor cream, which is interesting, but it does have chocolate syrup, ideally You Bet, seltzer. This is Russ and Daughters seltzer, but I think you can use any seltzer. And milk, and that's it. So here we go. We first start by putting in about 2 fingers of chocolate syrup. And then milk. That is about maybe 4 fingers, 2 to 1, milk to chocolate syrup, and then seltzer. And people have different ideas about which goes first. That might be a little too full. Let's see how this works. And then you stir. I'm not sure that I know the specific or actual history of egg creams, but there are many stories about the egg cream and how they came to be. There's the idea that they were watering down chocolate milk basically because it was cheaper, or just trying to make it give it a little more fizz. And then there's this story about the name, because there's no egg and no cream in a traditional egg cream. It's milk, chocolate syrup, and seltzer. That there was something about someone being like, like, I don't know if they were criticizing it but somehow someone adopted that as the egg cream. The turned into egg. I don't know, but that was that sound. And it's a very, we've been selling egg creams for a while. It's a very important part of people's experience. So when they come to Russ and Daughters on the Lower East Side, we're carrying on this tradition of 107 years now of immigrants and what happened on the Lower East Side, and people will come in have to have an egg cream. It's an important part of that experience. And I can't tell you how many people come in and order an egg cream and take a sip, and it takes them back to their childhood, to their, visiting the grandparents, or takes them back in time, which is a really cool thing to see happen. And ideally get a nice froth. And there you are. Your egg cream. That was a little too full. Russ and Daughters was founded by my great-grandfather, Joel Russ. And he, before he had a store, he had a push cart on Orchard Street, which is where our restaurant is now. And then after a few years, opened a physical location on Orchard Street. And then moved, after a few more years, to the current location of the original store, which is on Houston Street. He had 3 daughters and no sons. So after getting them in the store from the time they were 13 years old on weekends, they grew up a little and worked more and more in the store, and he then changed the name to Russ and Daughters, which was the first store in the country to be named And Daughters, not And Sons, which we take great pride in. Beyond the family's legacy, there's this legacy of this place, the Lower East Side, and the fact that my great-grandfather was an immigrant that made his way in the United States and lived the American dream in a way, But to be able to show that to people and how it continues and to carry it on is, I think, a real important part of society. For us, it's really about being true to your story and the history and what you're trying to do. Like, sort of understand where you've come from. And it's not to say don't be unique and change things up, but this sort of like staying away from this sort of embellished idea of who you are. Kind of if you're perpetuating a historical food or culture, then just be true to that food and culture. And yeah, you can fiddle with it a little bit, but you should always have that baseline of that truth.